this start of the decade, this start of the year, has been punctuated with a massive beef between two juggernauts of this UK game, Wiley and Stormzy.
Yeah.
Now, I know you lot have been soaking it in as well, man.
Yeah.
It's been very interesting. And for some people that don't know why the beef triggered, it's been triggered because Wiley feels, in so many words, that Stormzy used grime and he's more backing his boy Ed Sheeran than like backing the grime scene and performing like with grime artists and all that kind of stuff. And there's been 2 diss tracks to each other. Wiley's one came out first, Idiot's Gangman 1, then he done part 2, but in between that, Stormzy done Disappointed, and there's been So Disappointed. There's been 2 rounds so far. I feel like we might get a 3rd round. How far do we want it to go? What do you lot think of the beef so far?
Go on, Chris. I think you're more.
It's entertaining. Let me get the positives out of the way. It's very entertaining. The shock value, you know, having people talking about it is sick. I just think that the level of lyricism and the value of the tunes are very lackluster and very pants, to be fair. I can't see myself listening to any of these songs after the beef is done, or after the lyrical war is done, shall I say. Like, I can't see me listening to any of these songs ever again. Will I say it's a moment? Yeah. Will I say that it's been shocking and, you know, surprising to some extent? Yeah. Would I say that I'm impressed? No. The only thing that's really impressed me is just the work rate.
Now, you said the standard has been pants.
Yeah, terrible.
Now, that's a big point to make. That's a big statement.
1,000,000%.
Like, what's been so pants about it? How could they have been better?
All right.
What's made them pants?
When you're talking about lyrical wars, like from the top of you guys' heads, which ones would you mention in UK culture?
Not just UK culture. One of the greatest lyrical beefs and pugilisms that I remember is the Meek Mill and Drake thing was funny. The Meek Mill and the Drake and Pusha thing was good. And the Cannabis and LL Cool J, one of the greatest rap beefs of all time. Do you know what I'm saying?
When you're mentioning,
when it comes to this UK thing,
when you're mentioning the UK, okay, we can talk about Wiley and Dizzy. You could talk about Dizzy, Asher D. You could talk about Titch, Dizzy. You could talk about P Money Gets. You can talk about Boy Better Know, The Movement. You could talk about Chip and Bugsy in recent years. You could even talk about Dot and P in recent years.
Gets and P Money was one of the best ones, and I'd say that a moment Dizzy Rascal and Asher D live in the studio. Facts. That was real soundboy things. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. And now let's use those two as pinnacle examples. Asher D and Dizzy Rascal, and we can use P Money and Gets. There was a display of lyricism that was there. There was entertainment that was there, but most importantly, there was moments that was created and quotables and just a display of lyricism to know who's the best out of the two, that they were proper competing to see who was the best out of the two. With this one, it just sounds like a bunch of mesh tweets put over instrumentals. There's nothing. Okay, the whole Terminal 4, drag mum's wig, this and that is cute, but there's no lyricism involved to actually say, okay, why is this person the better MC out of the other one? There's been no displays and like there's been nothing smart or witty that's been said. And that's what I want in lyrical wars. I want that. I don't want to be entertained. I don't want to just hear a bunch of your mum disses. If I want to hear that, I'll go and watch Wild 'N Out.
Do you know what? I think you've been a bit harsh, Chris. I think you've been a bit harsh.
Maybe.
What I want to say that a lot of people have had things to say about the beef, you know, varying things. You see this like MC clashing and battling. It's part of the fabric and architecture of MC culture. Do you know what I mean? Like this MCing, rapping culture starts from the street corner, from parks, when rappers used to just go back to back. They might be on a wall, make a beat. Do you know what I'm saying? They might beatbox. They might be in a park. They might play some music off a phone, or like back in the day, might be in a cassette or whatever. They might set the decks up in the park and have a cypher. This is what this comes from, and that comes off of battling. There's always been a history of bravado, braggadocious stuff throughout like the whole timeline of MC and culture, hip hop and grime. Do you know what I'm saying? One shouldn't be surprised in this, and it doesn't mean that it needs to be beef fighting in real life. It needs to be sensible lyrical pugilism. It happens. There's a lot of this stuff that happens between artists and we don't know who they're talking about, but the artists in the camp know who they're talking about. Like we can hear like bars from we can hear bars from Drake to Kendrick, and one might say some of them bars from Kendrick are for Drake. But keeping it UK, man, people didn't expect Stormzy to reply. And a lot of people have to respect the fact that Stormzy's replied as well, because one might say maybe he doesn't because he's on this plateau. But do you know what? He's respected Wiley as the juggernaut that he is, and this is lyrical pugilism. What is it that the fans, because this captivates the fans, what is it about beef, battles, like this clashing stuff, sends that really excites the audience and the fans, do you think?
First of all, I think that Wiley fans are not Stormzy fans. So does the fact that these two artists coming from a very different generation kind of makes this beef invalid, because it's not two artists going at each other that are of the same generation.
Yeah.
So where Wiley is now as at his career, where he's at now, is completely different to where Stormzy's at. So Wiley's already had the time that Stormzy had, if that makes sense. So why they like it? Just for me, it just doesn't make sense. I think
that should be a reason why they can't beef, though. A man's not going to say, I'm not going to beef you because you're a different generation.
No,
you got a
that's
different
true.
crowd.
But yeah, but it depends what the beef is about.
So you're saying from the perspective of the reason why we're getting a mishmash of responses from the crowd and the fans, because different generations. There's an overlap in their audiences though, because they're both, inverted commas, grime MCs. So whether it's different generations, you still got a grime crowd.
I think to continue, to go back to what you said and to kind of continue from where Sarah was, on what she was saying was, I think the main different crowds have different things that attract them to lyrical wars. Some people is the entertainment purpose of it. You know, sort of like in school when you're sitting in class and someone cusses another person, you got those people in the back that say, "Ooh, you gotta have it," and just egg everything on. Yeah. You've got those people. Then you've got the stubborn people like myself that want to see the lyricism and want to see the art of MCing. And then you've got some people that as well is just like, it's just trending right now, so they just want to know what's popping right now. So the generic consumer to some extent. I think with all different types of people that there's different pockets of what they want in this. So we can't just answer it straight away and say, this is the one thing that we want. People are entertained by different things. Some people, they're entertained by your mum disses. Some people like that.
Yeah, true.
Yeah.
But I bet there's, the fan base that Stormzy has might not be so familiar with Wiley and what he has done and what he has brought to the culture. So they're automatically going to be biased towards Stormzy. But same way, Wiley fans are going to be biased towards Wiley. So then it literally becomes like what are we actually looking at here? Are we just siding with the person based off of, I grew up with listening to that person, or based on what they're talking about?
That's what it's come down
I think
to.
so. Because I truly believe that Wiley has remained relevant with a song like Boasty transitioning to, across the world. So we can't say, oh, this guy is like rising from the grave to just do this beef. Like he has it, he's got a valid input. But at the same time, what the beef is about, which is, using a sound to do this and that. I feel like music evolves. So what is the argument? Yeah. Music, there's always. So when 50, when 50 beefed with Ja Rule, like this and that, they were all at some point, some sort of a level playing field. Yeah. Same with Drake and Meek Mill. It was all like hot. Both of them were like in the same pan, if that makes sense. But these two are in different pans. I think
to some extent, yeah. No, I do hate.
I don't know.
Yeah,
maybe
I think you got valid points here, but I still don't think it's to the point where they shouldn't be beefing. And I do think when we look at the background of why Wiley feels like he should have a point with Stormzy, like, you use grime, and like you're over there with Ed Sheeran, and you guys look weird together.
That is the nucleus of this this beef, right?
Yeah. That's the nucleus of it. Wiley feels like he's had a point, he's got a point, and he's gone for him. Everyone just thinks Wiley's a madman. I don't know how justifiable you think those reasons are. He also thinks that Stormzy making the Wiley Flow song, which was some people viewed as a homage, but he viewed as a sly par.
Okay.
I feel like the Stormzy Flow song was a homage. The Wiley Flow song was a homage still. I have to be honest about that.
Yeah, it definitely was a homage. I think he was going a bit over the top with that, saying that he sees it as a slight dig. It's Wiley.
I think at the end of the day,
it's Wiley,
it's
man.
exactly. I feel like both opinions are going to be valid for what they stand for. And if Wiley thinks that, then let him think that. We're not here to judge. No one. There's no judging body for this.
No.
Do you know what I'm saying?
Everyone's right to in their own way to some extent, because as we said, there's different audiences that want different things from this. As you said, there's Stormzy fans who, will champion Stormzy, and there's Wiley fans that will champion Wiley. There's some people that in the middle that are just the generic consumer who just like this.
But you're gonna have that. You're gonna have that in all beefs, though. You're gonna have like tribalism. I'm team that. I'm team artist A. I'm team artist B. But I think what Sarah's bringing up, the main point, is the generational gap.
Yeah.
The generational gap. So
which includes the fans.
So whereas people are just like backing their boy because of who they grew up with, and then the youngers are like, well, I'm like the younger don, so I'm into like Stormzy by default. Like,
besides the point they're making,
the younger crowd.
Beside the reasons for the argument. Should I tell you something though? You see, like beef back in the day, all those beefs that were mentioned, Capo, Chris. Sometimes I just call you Capo.
I know,
Capo. Do you know what I'm saying?
Man,
so
mind.
all those beefs we mentioned before, like the Asher D and Dizzy Rascal, the Kano and Wiley from before, many beefs, man, many UK beefs that they were covered on like website forums and stuff, and certain regional radio stations. Sky News reported on this. Sky News reported on the Wiley and Stormzy beef. It's mad.
In what light?
They was just like, because they mentioned the line where Wiley said he's gonna rip Stormzy's mum's
it's taken out of
weave
context.
off. So it's taken out of context
Wiley
because
threatens. Like that's what it was seen as, and it felt like you've just taken this so out of context.
So let me ask you this though. I feel like there's been a lot of desensitizations to certain things, because 5-10 years ago, if a man says suck your mum, it's mad.
Yes.
So like in this thing now, the suck your mum thing's being thrown around a lot lately. A lot of artists have been putting it in their songs, and like it's been in this suck your mum. So I know there's a difference between a man saying, oh, suck your mum, and you know what, suck your mum, rude boy. There's a difference. But are we do these things mean, is it light-hearted now? Is suck your mum not really that deep?
I'm from that old school era of you can't say.
No, but for youngers though, or like, forget age, like this generation now in 2020, the way that we're taking suck your mum, is it taken light-hearted now?
It's taken light-hearted because the people that are saying suck your mum to other people haven't been punched in the face for saying it. And that's the thing, is that we are from that class of where someone says it, you are getting punched in the face, minimal. Like that's the most minimal thing that's gonna happen to you, and that's why I just don't throw that word around freely. I don't throw around mum disses or freely. You can't. And again, I've got an issue with you. Why am I bringing your mum into the problem?
Yeah, it's funny. Yeah, because it's like, where do you draw the line?
Yeah.
Right. Where do you, as a human being, become this like prim and proper, like this we can never do?
Yeah.
But then some people are like, well, come on, man, take it easy on them. Like, it's not that deep.
Yeah.
Where do you draw the line?
I think it's a bit conflict. Like for me, I feel like it's kind of contradicting for me, because I'm a big, massive battle rap fan, and with battle rap, that they go all the way into each other. They'll talk about dead relatives. Sometimes they'll talk about your kids, your spouse.
That's the criteria.
Things like that. But they agree to that. There's like an agreement saying,
there's an understanding.
Yeah, there's an understanding to know that.
So when there's no understanding, where do we draw the line? So like in this beef, like let's focus on this beef right here between Wiley and Stormzy.
Yeah.
Where do we draw the line?
Kids and women.
Kids and women, that's it, yeah?
They can't defend themselves.
Kids and women, but women have already been brought into the argument.
I'm saying in the sense of where like the woman's not involved in the situation, so it's just like they can't defend themselves. So now you can't now. Say for instance, if
mums and sisters have been brought into it.
Yeah, mums and sisters is too much.
But what about a friend that, like, how Pusha went at Drake's producer, like how can he defend himself in that position?
It's true.
No one can defend themselves if they're not in the beef.
I just see it as like, I don't know, man. I just think like bringing up women, like pivotal women in that person's life and kids. It's all right.
It's all right to say suck your mum. It's all right to say I'm going to spray up your house. It's all right to say I'm going to punch you in the
house.
face.
That's fine.
Yeah, that's fine.
Just make sure he's in the house. Just make sure no one else is in the house.
But when those things are said, and us saying it's all right them saying it, is it that it's all right them saying it, but they're kind of making a threat, but maybe not a serious threat? Because I slightly feel that I don't know if I'm being naive here, but if Stormzy and Wiley see each other today, I don't know if there's beef.
No.
But I feel like maybe if Stormzy and Wiley see each other, but Cadell's there, maybe it's the next thing though.
There's gonna be an issue.
Theatre. At the end of the day, it's all entertainment. What is a threat if you're not picking at something that is gonna like rattle you? Otherwise, it's not a threat, is it? A threat is anything you going for someone's prized possession or prize something is the only major threat you can make. So what other level of threat can you make to make this entertainment? Can you understand?
The art, maybe
what?
the art,
like I'm just
maybe the art of
I'm gonna
like,
break your car.
It's
like,
more skillful
do it
when,
then.
It's more skillful when you can like break down someone's character or their history rather than making threats about killing them. And they're like people think people think that like I'm gonna fight you, I'm gonna punch you up. Your girl disses, your mum disses, that they're like the default disses. And I think that's kind of what you had an issue with as well, Chris, innit?
Yeah,
that like there's a lot of default disses. Let me say like the first two, like the Idiot Skengman 1 and Disappointed, the first round of disses, I feel like we're fairly respectful from either party. I feel like it got majorly disrespectful in the second round. In the first round, you know, Wiley made a Maya reference and he was talking about the flows that Stormzy used. They're all his ones. Every time I hear your 5 big singles that you drop, I can hear my stylies. You never cared about grime, you just used it. You're worse than Ed when he watered down his music. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, it was pretty respectful. Like first round Stormzy said, I came to your show and I moved to your brother in front of your dad. Your old man just stood there pissed. Like that was, you know, cool. You know what I mean? If that's factual, that's factual.
That's very rude.
He was a bit more harsher than Wiley's first round, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
He said, go back to your bro before you suck my dick. I don't know, there was stuff. He called him a crackhead. You know what I'm saying? He said, lay off the crack. Like, you know what I'm saying? And
the generic Wiley of what people say.
Yeah, but like, I feel like in the first round though, Stormzy's one was a bit more like, I'm not saying who won. I'm just saying that Stormzy's one seemed like it was a bit more like, Then the second round got disrespectful.
Yeah.
Do you know why I think Stormzy's was a bit more, like, had an oomph to it? Because he maintained a cool. And as soon as someone...
You think Wiley was rattled? He seemed rattled from the beginning.
Yeah, I think the more composed you are, the more you piss off the other party.
Of course.
So...
Yeah. Because we know Wiley in the first round, it sounded like he was just doing soundboy send. But it's the history of Wiley. Whenever he sends for someone, the first one is always light. And then the more you keep on pushing him, it's just the more pissed off he gets.
I actually feel like both parties have handled this pretty well.
I don't know though, because I saw because it's captivating the audience, and you know what, Wiley's put his disses up there for streams, so he's making money off of it. Stormzy hasn't done that. I think what ignited the beef to a next level is in round 2 when Wiley said that he said, if I see your mum down Croydon Market, I'm gonna rip off her weave. You know what I'm saying? When he said that, when he talked about the ripping the weave off, I feel like that was harsh.
But in reality, is Stormzy going to go to Croydon
But is he
Market?
going to do that? But he said it though. He said it. And as a man, you have to take that threat, and you've gone for my mum.
Is he really going to do it?
Look at me being the realist.
Yeah, but he said it though. He said it. Yeah. Then in round 2, Stormzy's come back and he said he's called his mum a whore. He said that he's going to bend his mum over. He said he's also said that, where's your mum? He said Stormzy said to Wiley, you like to talk about mums all the time, but where's your mum? You moved her out to Cyprus. I feel like everyone was like, there was a lot of memes on that stuff.
Yeah, of course.
I don't know.
He's gonna be trolled for life.
Though. This is comedy. Like, ain't this what comedy is? Like, this is the talking comedy right now, where we take things by what's it called, for face value.
Yeah, I can't take it serious.
Like, you can't.
I can't take it serious at all.
All right, you know what?
It's the art form, and at the end of the day, I think this was a good. It was needed because I think both of them have just got a bit more fire in their belly.
So we didn't mention the Skepta. Did we mention the Skepta and DE
Velopment?
Skepta and DE Velopment. That was a major clash as well, man.
And Skepta didn't need to do that, because Devilman was at a point of where no one was mentioning him, no one cared about him or anything.
But that was for the art, though.
Yeah.
That's for the art.
I mean, and that's one thing I always credit these guys for, is that no matter how high you are, how gone you are in your career, is that you've decided to still keep that competitive nature.
No, you know what, Chris? There's two ways to look at it though. Because right, so you say Skepta didn't need to get his hands dirty with Devilman, yeah? But then an MC could look at it two ways of where I might want to just take out an easy target then. On one hand, I don't want to make a man famous, but on two, let me just take out an easy target.
Yeah.
You could underestimate a man though.
Very true.
But then also...
Have we ever seen that situation happen? Of where someone was underestimated and then they'd...
Napa. Who did Napa go for? Napa came out of his bars in the studio on the roof on Deja. They didn't expect him. Nah, Napa. Not Napa, man.
Yeah, Napa was with Gets.
Napa, was that with Gets?
When they clashed on Lord of the Mics.
You get me?
Napa lost.
Nah, okay, he lost, yeah?
He lost.
But he didn't lose in the way that people thought that he would maybe get obliterated.
Yeah.
Do you know what I'm saying?
But he lost.
Yeah, straight.
Yeah.
History of beef right here. So on one way, an MC on a level could take out an MC, easy pickings, let me just take him out. Or it could be a thing like where we've seen here, a man's got his hands dirty and he's got stripes for it as well, like for juggernauts banging heads.
I think that Bugsy Malone and Chip was probably the best example of that, of where you just didn't need to send for someone and you did. And the underdog done pretty well. I mean, Chip won overall, but Bugsy done pretty damn well.
Stripes.
Yeah, he done very, very well and he's benefited off of it since.
Having a good career.
Yeah, man.